If most of your body fat is sitting around your stomach, you've probably been told that fasting for longer is the answer, that you need to skip breakfast and push your first meal back as much as you physically can, and that if you stop eating after 6 p.m, then the fat around your organs is suddenly going to disappear. But you don't need to start fasting to lose visceral fat. And for a lot of people, fasting actually makes the process harder. If skipping food all day leaves you hungry and then raiding the cupboards at night, you've not found a fat loss strategy. You've just moved your calories into the most chaotic part of the day. I've coached hundreds of people to lose fat and actually maintain it. And before they joined the program, they rarely struggled because they were eating too often. Their meals would not keep them full, their protein was inconsistent, convenience took over, and their weekends just wiped out their week. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 foods that are going to make visceral fat way easier to lose. These foods don't just magically burn fat, but they do control your hunger, protect your muscle, improve your meal structure, and help you eat fewer calories without constantly overeating. And number one is the food that I would use when life is busy, and you need a 5-minute meal that keeps the day on track. But let's start at food number 10, which I call the morning protein anchor. Most people think breakfast is something that you need to skip, or have something quick like cereal, toast, or a pastry. But the real problem is not breakfast itself. It's starting the day with almost no protein. That's like trying to hold a door shut with one finger. It might work for a minute or two, but eventually the hunger is going to push through. That's why eggs are food number 10. And they work because they give you a meaningful protein hit. They're easy to prepare and they fit into most normal meals. You can have them in toast, you can put them in a wrap, or you can add them even just with some leftovers. You don't need 6 plain egg whites out of some fancy bodybuilding meal prep tub. 3 eggs as an extra protein source makes breakfast way more filling without turning your morning into a bodybuilding routine. So the action step here is simple. Use eggs as the protein base for your first meal 2 or 3 times this week. But eggs work even better when you pair them with food number 9. Because to be honest, this is probably one of the most unfairly blamed carbs in fat loss. And food number 9 is actually what I call the fullness carb. Most people think that potatoes are fattening, but usually it is not the potato that is causing the problem. It's the oil, butter, cheese, or the portion sizing that comes with it. Plain potatoes are incredibly filling for the calories that they provide. And that matters because visceral fat doesn't just come down because you found some magic ingredient. It comes down because you can maintain a calorie deficit for long enough consistently to finally see results. Potatoes make that way easier because they actually provide a lot of food volume. How I always like to describe this is thinking of a suitcase that is way bigger but actually weighs less. You get way more physical food on your plate without it using up so much of your calorie budget. The big mistake though is turning potatoes in your meals into something like chips or creamy mash. Instead, what you want to do is boil them, air fry them, or even roast them, but with a measured amount of oil. Or you can even just use baby potatoes in your family dinner. And as you guys know, what I like to do in these videos is give you a proper action step so you can stop just binging videos like these and actually start implementing. So the action step here is to replace one lower volume carb that you've been using already with a measured serving of potatoes and a lean protein source. And if you want something sweet after that meal, then the next food is going to be the one for you, because that's the one that essentially stops an evening snack turning into a full evening of binging. Food number 8 is what I call the craving control bowl, because a lot of people try and just be good and then they completely fail after dinner. They blame their willpower and their motivation, but actually often they are underfed and they're just absolutely shattered from the day. And that's why Greek yogurt is so good for this situation, because it gives you something sweet, something high in protein. It's a food that's filling for you without needing to open the fridge door and going into a full dessert binge. You can add berries to it, you can add honey, you can add a little bit of granola as well if it fits your calorie intake. The key here is that it is structured. There's a massive difference between choosing a controlled bowl of yogurt rather than standing in the kitchen and just picking at random snacks from all the different cupboards. One gives you proper control, but the other lets the evening decide things for you. I've had so many clients say to me that they're in control all day and then things just fall apart in the evenings. But the fix is rarely more discipline. It's usually a better evening option for when they're tired and hungry. So make Greek yogurt your default evening snack this week. Give it a go and you'll be shocked at the results. results. But the next food makes that bowl way more effective because it gives you sweetness and volume for very little calories. Food number 7 is berries. Most people think fat loss is just removing anything sweet from your diet. That usually works for about 3 to 4 days. Then Friday comes, maybe work's been stressful, and suddenly they're eating absolutely everything that they were trying to ban before. Berries give you sweetness, they give you fiber, and they give you so much volume without the calories of most desserts. That doesn't mean they're directly, magically fat burning, but they're so useful because they satisfy that desire for something sweet, whilst keeping you within a structure. And that distinction really, really matters. The goal is not to build the cleanest diet possible. The goal is to build a diet that you can repeat. I absolutely love frozen berries too, because they keep in the freezer for ages, and they can go straight into the yogurt, into your oats, or also into a smoothie as well. So what I really recommend here is that you get a bag of frozen berries. Just get one to start so you can check that it actually fits into your structure, and then keep it available to you so that your healthy choices don't just depend on your fresh, good food being there available for you in the fridge. Now, sweet snacks are just one part of the problem. The biggest issue for most busy families specifically is actually dinner, and the next food solves that without forcing you to have some separate diet meal from your family. Food number 6 is what I call the family meal protein based, because so many people think that dieting means chicken, rice and broccoli every day of the week, whilst everyone else is eating normal food. That is one of the reasons why so many diets fail. Nobody wants to eat like a guest in their own home, and that's why lean mince is so good for when you're trying to lose body fat, because it can become the meals that your family already eats. Tacos, chili, pasta, you name it, even burgers, rice bowls. There are so many great options here that lean mince can go into. By choosing a leaner protein base, you reduce the calories of that meal so much without needing a completely different dish. It's like changing the engine without changing the car. The meal still looks really, really familiar. It just is so much more efficient. Now let me be clear, you still need to watch all the little extras. A lean chili can be super high calorie as soon as you start adding in the cheese, the chips, and all that fried stuff. But the answer isn't just banning the whole meal completely, it's building it properly. So what I highly recommend you do here with the action step this week is choose lean mince for the base of your meal for one of your family meals this week. Keep the meal recognizable for you, and then you're gonna see how much more easy and flexible fat loss can become when you stop trying to eat some separate diet foods. Do not create a completely separate dish for yourself. And the next food gives you another great breakfast option, especially for those mornings where eggs maybe aren't practical for you. It's what I like to call the slow burn breakfast. And this food number 5 is so great because a lot of people, they just try and skip breakfast completely, or they just grab something on the road that doesn't even keep them full. And then they wonder why they're thinking about food by 10:30. And this is why oats are so useful, because they make things predictable for you. They're easy to measure, they're easy to combine with protein, and they're filling enough to make breakfast feel like an actual meal. But oats aren't automatically low calorie. Don't make that mistake. This is where so many people get caught. They start with the oats and then they add the peanut butter, they add the honey, they add an absolute mountain of nuts to their bowl. They add 1 scoop of absolutely everything that looks healthy from their cupboard. And then this supposedly low calorie bowl turned into a 1,000 calorie complete bomb. Oats work the best when you keep the base simple. Add your protein powder or your Greek yogurt, add your berries, add water to mix the oats with, or you can also have a low fat milk, or you can also do half and half water, half milk. And then yes, choose 1 high calorie topping, but do not choose 5. I like this kind of structure, especially when I'm traveling, because it just removes the guesswork. You don't need a perfect kitchen situation, but you do need a meal that you can repeat when life is busy. But everything that I've said so far becomes so much easier when your freezer is doing some of the work for you. And food number 4 is what I call the freezer volume system. Hear me out on this one, because most people think that vegetables require loads of chopping, they need loads of meal prep, and they buy their fresh vegetables and then they just go off in the fridge after a couple of days. That's why they do it for a week and then they just give up completely and they go back to square one. And that's why I absolutely love frozen vegetables, because they remove almost all of that friction. They're chopped up already. They're literally already prepared. They're already chopped up for you. It's so easy for you. They last absolutely ages in the freezer as well. They can go in a pan, they can go in your microwave. or they can go in the air fryer. They're literally ready in minutes. They fill your plate up so much without adding much more calories. Think of vegetables as expanding the size of your meal massively without drastically increasing your calories. This matters a lot because a lot of the time people are eating small calorie dense meals, which leaves them looking for more food, even if that plate contains loads of calories in the first place. But if you can have a larger meal with more protein, more vegetables, and a controlled carb portion, then that's usually going to leave you feeling way more complete and energized. The big mistake is treating vegetables like some sort of sprinkle or decoration on your meal. 3 little pieces of broccoli on the side of your plate is not going to transform the meal, guys. You need to use enough to create proper volume. Add 2 handfuls of frozen vegetables to your plate. And when you do so, make sure you pay attention to how much more full you feel. But the next food is really what keeps that meal anchored. Food number 3 is the universal protein anchor. People often think they need a completely different protein source at every single meal. And yeah, that might sound interesting and flexible, but it also makes shopping and cooking way harder than it needs to be. Chicken works so well because it is simple, it is versatile, and it's easy to use across multiple meals. You can put it in wraps, you can put it in salads, curries, or if you're like me and you like pasta, rice bowls, it goes so well in there too. The reason why this helps with burning visceral fat is not because chicken is some magic fat burning food. It's because high protein meals tend to keep you more full and help preserve muscle whilst you're dropping weight. That helps you lose fat without just becoming a small, skinnier version of yourself. Chicken breast especially is the leanest option of all. But obviously you can eat other parts of the chicken as well. Obviously you've got chicken thighs, one of my personal favorites. As you guys know by now, you just need to make sure that it is fitting within your calorie target. I'm not saying that you only need to eat chicken, far from that. You want to make sure that you're combining it though with the other protein anchor foods that we've spoken about in this video, like eggs, Greek yogurt, and lean mince. It's about having the right balance for you, so you've got that flexibility and you're not feeling bored, but you also have an easy structure that you can be consistent with. And look, we're getting through this list and you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but how can I turn this into an actual day of eating? So that's why I've created a simple nutrition guide, which you're gonna find the link to in the description below. It's gonna show you how you can build filling fat loss meals around a busy schedule without fasting or cutting out carbs or anything ridiculous like that. So if that sounds like something you want, then just check out the description below. Now, the next food is not really a meal. It's that time of the day where most structured eating plans fall apart. Food number 2 is popcorn. There's a lot of people out there that don't actually physically overeat at night because they're starving. They overeat because the day is finally finished and they relax, and food just becomes the entertainment for them. That's why telling someone to just stop snacking is usually not helpful. You need a replacement for the habit, not just a lecture about it. Popcorn works extremely well for this because it gives you a massive amount of food volume for relatively low calories, especially when you've prepared them sensibly. If you've got a cinema-sized bucket of your butter caramel popcorn, then of course that is not ideal. But if you've got plain popcorn or a lightly seasoned one, a bit of salt, then that is going to be absolutely perfect for this regular situation. I'm not saying you can never eat cinema popcorn again. Of course, you need to have that right balance. You need to go out and live your life. But in this video, we are speaking about the foods that are in your regular rotation that are going to keep you energized and keep you full. So what you want to do here is use popcorn as a replacement, especially on those nights where you tend to find yourself grazing on biscuits, chocolate, or whatever it might be. But this final food on the list, food number 1, is the most practical one because it can stop a busy day turning into a takeaway at night. And that's why I call food number 1 the emergency meal system. So many people out there think their diet fails because they do not have enough motivation. But most diets actually fail in predictable situations. You finish work late, the family needs feeding, nothing is prepared, and that delivery app on your phone is just 2 seconds away. And this is exactly why high protein wraps are food number 1. Not because wraps are magical, but because they solve that exact moment when your plan is the most vulnerable. You can add your chicken, your eggs, your lean mince, or even tuna or some other leftover meat into the wrap. Then some salad, then your controlled amount of sauce or a low calorie sauce, and also some cheese if it's fitting within your day. You then have a full meal that tastes good in literally 5 minutes. It is so much better than relying on fasting because fasting always gets you thinking about avoiding food. But instead, eating in this way and including things like high protein wraps teaches you how to eat in a way that still keeps you in control. That's really the real difference here, guys. Fasting can work for some people, but it is absolutely not required. And if it makes you tired, antisocial, or obsessed with avoiding food, you're gonna be way more likely to overeat later on. And in that situation, it is definitely not the superior method for you. The best method for you creates a calorie deficit, keeps your protein high, and survives your work and family commitments, especially weekends, travel, and your social life. That is how visceral fat comes down. Not through some randomly chosen window of eating, through good decisions repeated for long enough. So here's what I want you to do. Do not try and add all of these 10 foods from tomorrow. Choose 3, choose 1 protein anchor, 1 high volume food, and add an emergency option for those busy days. Build those into your week until they become automatic. Because the goal is not to prove that you can suffer through some strict diet. The goal is to build an eating structure that makes you feel in control again. And if you know that you're capable of more, but your body and your energy is not matching the standards that you hold in all the other areas of your life, there is a link below in the description to apply for one-to-one coaching. Now, this is not going to be a good fit for you if you're just looking for a quick fix or you're looking to cut foods out. But if you want a personalized system that works around you, your body, your lifestyle, and helps you stop starting over and over again for good, you can apply through the link in the description below. But other than that, guys, before you go, make sure you watch the video that's popped up on the screen right now, because in that one, I'm gonna show you how you can lose that stubborn fat without extreme dieting or living in the gym. It's gonna make everything that I've said in this video way easier to apply. That's all from me, guys. I'll see you in the next one.